It is my great pleasure to give the floor to our immediate past president from Kuala Lumpur, Isa Muhammad. Isa, I trust you are ready to go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. It's been very, very taxing and also very busy at the Secretariat, and the scrutineers have done a great job. I was wondering whether you could share the results on the screen. Is that possible for me to make the announcement?
Yes, I'd like, Isa, if you would make the announcement, then I will ask to share the screen, project something on the screen as you speak.
Okay. Let me just, there were 280 votes casted the last few hours. And the result is, for president, José Luis Cortés, 181 votes, and John Rule Han of Korea, 97 votes. So José Luis Cortés Delgado is our new president. Congratulations.
Look, I want to be the first to extend my warmest congratulations and welcome to José Luis. He is a man of great distinction. I have no doubt that he will be a wonderful president for the UIA. And he has a long and distinguished record with serving the UIA. So I hope that we might be able to give the floor to José Luis. I assume he's somewhere watching us and receiving this very good news. And I'll ask our operators, please, to make him a panelist and to give José Luis exactly 60 seconds to make remarks. So get used to keeping the time clock. Isa, before we ask José Luis to speak, I want to thank you and the scrutineers for handling this process. I know the amount of work that has been involved, and you've done a wonderful job. So thank you so much. Now over to you, José, for a few remarks, and we're keeping time. We're here in Paris, so.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Isa. Well, first of all, I want to thank all the people that support me. And I want to say that I will be present for everyone, the ones that vote for me and the ones that didn't vote for me. I will try to help UIA in everything. You know, I want really to work very hard the next 2 years, but I need all of you. I am sure that this success is not my success. It's the vote of and the work of many, many, many people. So it has been a teamwork. And I want to congratulate all the competitors. I want to congratulate John Rule and all the people that have been candidates in this process. So it is a great pleasure to be here, you know, with this news that I am the new president for UIA. It's a dream for many years, and I'm very glad. And I would like to stimulate everybody to work for the future of UIA. I think the new generations are waiting a lot from UIA. So my best wishes to everybody, and thank you for all the people that have been supporting me. All the regional organizations like FAPA, like AUA, like CIALP, like FAFA, like Acacia. Many people have been involved in this voting. So I'm very proud of having very good friends and many people that are working hard for UIA. Thank you.
Thank you so much, José Luis, and congratulations again. And thank you so much, Jean Rule, for a well-run campaign, and for all those candidates who ran for president, all 5 of you. Thank you for your efforts and your competition. Now, I think it's appropriate for us to ask Isa to read aloud the candidates for the next office that will be filled, the next set of offices that will be filled, and for which the voting will begin tomorrow. Isa, may I ask you to do that, please?
Yeah, let me just check where they are. Yes, so congratulations again to Jose Luis, and good work, John Rowe. You fought very hard. Congratulations to you too. Hope you will still continue to serve. For the next voting will be done tomorrow, and this is for the Bureau. For the Secretary General post, we have Tan Pe-ing from Malaysia, Kevin Bingham, South Africa, and Lorenz Breker from Switzerland. For Treasurer, we have Ruta Lieutenante, Baltic countries, Pierre Sauvier, Belgium, Saif Allah Anaga, Egypt, and Ishak Lipovetsky, Israel. For the Vice President for Region 1, there's no voting because there's only Natalie Mohsin, who has been the only candidate. So she's now the Vice President of Region 1. For Region 2, we have firstly, Albay Kazimzada, Azerbaijan. Second, Isliliana Atanasova, Georgia. Third is the Bohdan Lisowski, Poland. And fourth, Thomas Kansler, Slovenia. For Region 3, Vice Presidents, the candidates, there are 4 of them too. 1, Rim Safa Sakal, Bolivia. 2, Sam Obo, Canada. 3, Augusto Xavier Balen Ray, Colombia. And the fourth one, Jose Luis, but he's already the president, so there's no need for him. So there'll be only 3 for Region 3, with 3 candidates. Okay. And Region 4, Vice President, there's only 1 who's already been elected, Ishtiaq Zahir Titas from Bangladesh. And for Region 5, 2 candidates, Tokumbo Omisore, from Nigeria, and Jacinta Bishanga Kabarungi, Uganda. So these are the candidates for platform 3, sorry.
Does that complete your report for the elections, Isa?
Yes. Except I'd just like to mention that the platform will be open tomorrow at 1400 hours on the 23rd of July.
That's correct. Yes. We'll come back and review that at the end of this session.
And I also have to add, there might be additional votes to be done, votings to be done after today's session, because we are talking about the Treasurer's report and also the budget that has to be voted on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, I missed out the other announcement, Tom, which is the announcement for the resolution for the public health group.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a voting for the resolution for the public health group that proposed 2022, the year of design for health. And the result is yes 255, and no, 2.
Thank you. That's a wonderful result, and I know they'll very
Sorry, no, there's the 2
abstentions.
abstention, I think. No, sorry, no 2.
Very good.
So the motion proposed by Public Health Group to designate 2022 as the year of design for health is carried by the Assembly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Isa. That's very good news, and they'll be pleased to hear it. So thank you. And thank you again for your efforts. Now, it's time we turn to the reports that are on the agenda. Before asking the Secretary General to make his reports, I am asking the Treasurer, Pierre Sauveur, to come back and to intervene for a brief moment in response to a question that has been received on the financial statements. So we have just a few minutes to ask Pierre to join us and to make his presentation. Pierre, will you please take over?
Okay. Voilà. Bonjour à tous.
Good morning, everybody. The email from our Secretary General sent some months ago advised all the member sections that given the particular circumstances in which we are obliged to hold our General Assembly, all of the preparatory documents would be made available to you in advance on our website in order to allow you to consult them and, if necessary, send in questions. As to the finances, the tables and diagrams made available to you show a steady increase in profits. Furthermore, we received no question on Sunday on our website. There is no sound. Okay, I think you can see me now, says the speaker. We received no question on Sunday on our website or via email, which I thought was normal. Nevertheless, through the chat during the meeting, one of our members wanted to ask a question, and the response deserves some specifications. It is clearly good that you be informed prior to taking a position on the approval of the triennial budget. I will take a couple of minutes here to give you a very brief explanation, but if necessary, you will find the complete question asked of us and our complete response in the email that we are going to be sending to you at the end of the meeting. Very briefly, as the member section asking the question is English speaking, the first question is based only on the English version of the documents. The second part of the question had to do with the comparison of figures for the same item in the accounts for 2018 and 2019. As to the first response, please remember that our union works in accordance with French legislation. Therefore, our accounts must be written in French. Given the remark that was sent to us, we realized that in the English version, a number of items had not translated written next to them. That's just a mistake, a translation mistake for some items, but it has nothing to do with an accounting error. Nevertheless, I will make sure that this translation error is corrected and doesn't happen again. The other part of the question had to do with a more technical detail. There are entry or posting differences, and in fact, these differences are simply the result of a change in accounting presentation between KPMG in 2018 and Benaim in 2019. In relation to this technical point, please take a look at the more comprehensive explanations that you'll find in the email that is going to be sent to you. Please bear in mind that the two entries or postings are legal and the accounting results are identical in that they provide a result showing a very favorable evolution. Therefore, I would ask you to take a look at the emails for further explanations. And I'd like to thank you for your support and for reading the documents in advance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Treasurer. Thank you, Pierre. And now it is my pleasure to turn the floor over to our Secretary General, Sherban Tiganesh. Sherban, I hope you're with us here. I'm looking on the images. I can't seem to locate you yet. No? Well, I'm sorry to report trouble connecting, and so we'll have to try and reconnect with him shortly. I wonder if at that juncture then I could ask our co-director from work programs to begin their presentation slightly earlier, the commission report slightly earlier than had been anticipated. The first on the list is our Education Commission. I'll ask the operator if you'll give me just a moment whether we can have Marylise Nepomechi and Magda Mustafa connected so that they could begin their reports in the absence of the Secretary General. Just hold on for is here. Good. Marylise is with us. That's wonderful. Hello, Marylise. So I'm sorry, you're muted. Yeah.
Hello, Marylise.
Yeah. Sorry to spring this on you early, but this is the part of the flexibility we have to have with this technology. So please, may I introduce Marylise Nepomechi from Florida, who is co-director with Magda Mustafa of our Commission on Education and our Validation Council. Marylise, it's my pleasure to turn the floor over to you for your report.
Thank you, Thomas. And hello, everyone. Good
Hello.
morning from Miami, Florida, where it's very early. Good afternoon, good evening to all the rest of you from around the world. I wonder, would it be possible for me to share screen for a moment? Yes, okay. And let me see, I hope Magda can join, but if not, then I will give the report on our collective behalf.
We're sending her
so
urgent messages to try and get her connected, so please proceed.
Okay,
and we'll get
thank you
with it.
so much. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. So then, on behalf of the Education Commission and the UNESCO UIA Validation Council for Architectural Education, it is my pleasure to speak with you today at the end of this exceptional triennium. I am incredibly pleased to be co-sharing the work for this commission with Magda Mustafa of Egypt. The two of us have had the opportunity to work with an exceptional group, a wonderful steering committee, and an absolutely outstanding membership to do what I believe has been successful work over the course of the last 4 years. We began our work with a series of charges that you can see on the screen in front of you, I hope. The first was to clarify the structure, the mandate, and the scope of the commission and the council. And in conjunction with our membership, our strategic committee, we created a strategic plan, which we will talk to you about in just a moment, that would do precisely that. We have had the opportunity to identify, to establish, to mobilize and strengthen a range of both internal and external collaborations over the course of the last 4 years. To that end, we have created what we think are quite successful and rather important strategic partnerships for our organization. With the, in the context of internal partnerships, we have updated the Charter for Architectural Education, giving it a focus that looks at the work of the Sustainable Development Group of the UIA, foregrounding the importance of sustainability in architectural design and architectural professional education. In terms of external collaborations, we have set up the UIA Education Commission and the UNESCO UIA Validation Council for Architecture Education to become a provisional signatory and shortly a full signatory of the Canberra Accord for Architecture Education, an international group membership in which will allow graduates of programs that are validated by the UIA to have access to all of the educational credential acceptance at every in the professional organizations of all of those countries, of all of the members of the Canberra Accord. It gives them tremendous professional mobility and really foregrounds the work that the UIA Commission is doing. Finally, as part of a purpose and a charge to identify and act on opportunities to raise the profile of the Commission on the world stage, we have created the inaugural UIA Award for Innovation in Architecture Education, again focusing on sustainable development goals. And we conferred those first awards at the very beginning of this Congress. What you see in front of you is the strategic plan for the UIA Education Commission, beginning, of course, with the mission of the UIA, and then the mission of the UIA and the UNESCO VCAE, the Validation Council. We spoke about a strategic plan that would create a series of goals and a series of strategies, the goals advancing the core values of the Education Commission being inclusion and diversity, equity and access, dissemination and engagement, and excellence and transparency. In that context, we advanced our work with the Canberra Accord, with in the context of finance, in the context of creating a robust digital footprint. We expanded with the work of the UIA leadership, our presence on the internet. We were able to share the work that we were doing, and we created changes within the structure of the council proper. Our work, as I said earlier, it started to include the Sustainable Development Goals put together by the United Nations, knowing that the charter that guides the UNESCO UIA Validation Council and is really the center and the core of the work of the Canberra Accord, knowing that that charter has tremendous impact potentially to change the way in which architectural education is done around the world. We have made changes in that charter to reflect a greater emphasis on education that focuses on sustainability. In the context of our validation map, which you see in front of you, I can happy to report that we have had 19 successful validation visits since 2017, the beginning of the triennium. We have 11 programs validated across 4 of the 5 UIA regions. We have 6 brand new in-progress reviews and validation inquiries. We had a very successful pivot to virtual validation visits in response to the COVID pandemic. And of course, we are now a provisional signatory of the Canberra Accord. In all of these activities, we are advancing the potential for standing up the UIA on the world stage, and we are opening the avenues of possibilities to the students who are graduating from the validated programs of the UNESCO UIA. Finally, we have inaugurated a wonderful award that focuses not on unique architectural form making, but actually on the creation of a pedagogy, innovative pedagogies in architectural education worldwide, again, focusing on sustainability, on resilience, on development and design in a way that empowers communities and that empowers the role of the architect in working in its environment and with its with those who benefit from our work in a way that is sustainable, that is resilient, and that prepares them to really be the leaders of a profession that they are entering as a result of education. We've had wonderful entries from around the world, and you see some of those projects in front of you. Again, on behalf of both Magda and myself, it has been an honor and a pleasure to work with the Education Commission and the Validation Council, and we thank you very much for the opportunity to report on our work. Thank you, Tom.
Marilise, thank you so much, and thank you, Magda. I hope you're with us in some way. Certainly, this is being recorded, and you can see it afterwards. I think your commission has done outstanding work. Look forward to continuity in these efforts in the coming years, and just please accept our gratitude for a job well done. All of your material is online. It's part of the members' work area. So if you have questions about the many slides you've seen during Marilise's wonderful presentation, please consult that portion of the website. Thank you, Marilise. We're going to move on now to our colleague, James Wright. And I don't know if Wei Min is with you. I hope, yes, there he is. Good. So now we move to the Professional Practice Commission and to its co-directors, one in the United States and one in the People's Republic of China. James and Wei Min, over to you.
Thank you, Thomas. So Wei Min and I would like to begin by expressing our gratitude to the host of our 27th Triennium annual meetings. First, the French Order of Architects for our 2018 meeting in Paris, the Malaysian Institute of Architects for our 2019 meeting in Kuala Lumpur, and the Institute of Architects Brazil for our 2020 meeting in Rio de Janeiro. Thus far in 2021, the PPC has very successfully met virtually twice, with the recent decision to hold a virtual multi-day annual meeting later this year. But already we are thinking about 2022, with hopes for meeting in person and possibly scheduled to link with the resumption of in-person UIA council meetings. The PPC is pleased to bring 4 important initiatives to conclusion with the beginning of the 28th Triennium. First, the PPC continues to press for member section adoption of the 2017 Gender Equity Accord, and at our meeting earlier this month, we agreed to offer an expansion of this accord in the form of a UIA Declaration on Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion in Architecture. This brief but poignant declaration will be presented to Council for formal adoption at the first meeting of the new triennium. Second, the 7-year effort to create the architectural practice around the world database that would be readily accessible through the UIA website is coming to fruition. All member sections have been contacted by the UIA Secretariat with instructions on how to access and complete your respective member section database questionnaires. And we strongly urge all member sections to comply as soon as possible so that this valuable tool may be widely available. The PPC is thankful to the UIA Secretariat for its crucial support of this initiative. Third, the PPC has approved the final draft of a detailed guidelines for a Model Practice Act governing the practice of architecture. This guide expands upon and updates similar past PPC initiatives, providing member sections with a useful tool for influencing governmental practice law reviews, or in creating practice laws where none currently exist. And fourth, final comments are being incorporated into a guideline for pro bono work. These guidelines support fair and meaningful professional services for the public good performed voluntarily and without financial compensation. The PPC is poised to enter the new triennium with several ongoing and new initiatives, and we are particularly inspired to collaborate with the other UIA commissions, and the UIA work groups. It is our belief that the spirit of collegiality and fruitful collaboration with the common goal of advancing the practice of architecture globally is very much alive and well at the working level of the UIA. On behalf of UIA and myself, we thank you very much.
Jane Wayman, thank you very much for this rousing
thanks,
report.
James.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, James. I really want to take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to all member sections for your contribution, your information, data for our APAW. So that is very hard work, I believe. And I also wanted to appreciate our friend commissions, ICC, Education Commission, and SDG. So thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution for our Professional Practice Commission. Thanks.
Thank you, Wayman. Thank you, James. Thank you, the American Institute of Architects, and thank you to the Architectural Association of China, to the ASC, for the sustained support you have both given to the Professional Practice Commission since its inception. And that's a wonderful record, something to be enormously proud of. And we're very, very pleased that both the AIA and the ASC have continued to support this effort. So thank you for your report. I know that your materials are available online too. And so I commend all of our member sections to go into that website and look at them in detail, in particular the model practice law, which I think is a wonderful piece of work. Thank you. Thanks very much. Now we're going to turn to our agenda. I see that our Secretary General has been able to join us. We're very pleased to see that. So I'm going to divert from the two commission reports that remain, the International Competitions Commission and the Sustainable Development Goals Commission, to ask our Secretary General to take over and deliver his reports on communications and on the efforts of our work programs. Shervan, I'm sorry you had difficulty. I'm glad to see you back.
Sorry for that. I had some computer problems, but finally solved. I'm very happy and to be with you. I have to address congratulations to the president-elect and hoping to have a very good term in front of us. So communication first. My report is, of course, in written form on the website, but I want to emphasize some points of the advancement which happened in this term, which I consider in terms of communication quite important. So the first one is that we have a new website. Okay, we used to say we modernized or revisited, reconfigured the site, but actually, as you all know, from time to time, you have to change completely the platform from technical point of view and also from a visual and design point of view. So we have a new website which was produced in 2018, 2019, and which is working quite well, which is a clear improvement of the communications. And of course, it's dependent on the content which is produced by our member sections, commission, working bodies, and so on. It also works, in my opinion, quite well. The Secretariat did their best in order to reflect happening in relation with the Rio Congress, the Rio World Capital of Architecture, and of course our General Assembly, which is, as we all know, quite particular in this format. We have a lot of extensions of this website, which actually work with different situations. For example, the COVID-19 information hub. I'm sure that you remember that moment. Compilation of material which actually reacted to the world situation we passed, and other things. Of course, APAO was mentioned, database, which is also connected to our website. The other commissions, the PTC, the ICC, the Edu Commission, and the SDG are all producing a lot of content and having foundation in our website. Of course, the work should continue, And we have some ideas for that. We are wishing to create pages, special pages for the gold medals and prizes after this Congress and General Assembly, to give more emphasis on the World Architecture Day to come. The other very important product which appeared in this term is the UIA newsletter in the new format, which is actually issuing twice a month. And it has around 6,500 subscribers. And we are monitoring actually the access and the open rate. This is the metrics of the newsletter is around 25%, which is above the average open rate in the industry, which is 20.8%. So we have a newsletter which, in our opinion, and according to the monitoring data, is read, reaches the readers, and I'm sure that you already know it and be happy about. We have a lot, and we had a lot of press releases and special interviews. We thought that different voices from the architectural fields are the best ambassadors for UIA. So quite interesting interviews were taken and used in this purpose. We have also presence in social media, and we have combination and interferences between different medias. So we connect between social media, website, and other products, including our newsletter. Of course, special dedication of the communication were to Rio Congress, to the World Capital of Architecture, to ACE UIA Joint Conference in 2019 on competition. I'm sure you all remember that. And of course, many other things which actually are giving quite a good rhythm of communication for such a small team we have, actually, to be honest, in Paris. We had some webinars. Maybe you remember the World Architecture Day in 2021, or the Urban Think, with different webinars like female approaches to build climate resilience, or health environments through architecture, or architects' response in reshaping our cities in pandemic situation, and so on, so forth. So to conclude my communication report, you can find the details on the website, and with your permission, I'm jumping to the work programs report.
Please.
All right, Thomas, just to catch up with time. Okay, so as you all know, work programs were restructured in the last term, and we had the so-called protocol, which was approved by the Congress in Seoul. And this protocol, after a deep study, put some standards into the new standards for the work program, standards of having strategies and objectives, of having a certain relevance worldwide, attendance around the globe with the participants from all regions, and so on. I'm sure you remember this. And according to this protocol, we have restructured at the beginning of this term the whole package of work programs, and people which are actually activating into the work programs, in my opinion, are the real heroes of UIA. They are all volunteers, they are all passionate, and they are actually creating a kind of global network on different subjects, as you know. So I'm really appreciating the effort which everybody made in order to make this restructuring solid. And I'm reading very fast which the work programs which are actually very active and working. We have the three groups: architecture and society. In architecture and society, we have architecture for all, we have architecture and children, and we have heritage and cultural identity. This is the first group. I will come back just for a few seconds for two of these programs which are actually championing on UIA. Then we have habitat. Habitat has social habitat, has community architecture and intermediate city urbanism plus architects. So another 3 work programs under Habitat. And then we have the third group, which is public facilities with public health group, sports and leisure, educational and cultural spaces, and public spaces. So we have 4 work programs in the third module under public facilities. So as I promised, now I'm coming back to Architecture for All. I think we all know Architecture for All because this is a program which is absolutely active and powerful and taking care about inclusivity, about accessibility, and which is very much consolidated by Friendly and Inclusive Spaces Award, which, as you probably didn't miss, in the Congress program was actually awarded, I think 2 days ago. And then we have Architecture and Children, which is the other real champion of the work programs. Architecture and Children actually are preparing the future, as the title says, and they are actually giving these fantastic awards for programs for children and young persons about architecture, about the culture of architecture, the Golden Cubes Award, which was also fantastic since its inception, and this year too, this term too. And then, of course, I have to mention another work program, which is another old champion this time, which is the public health group. We have something on the agenda about this today too, and which is actually so actual, or more actual than ever today, because the situation we have. So even if it was a long time ago, public health is powerful, active, a real network, and serving the public interest in the area of health. Probably better than ever. So I'm really very optimistic in the work programs structure, that also the other work programs, which are in different stages of development on their strategies, will consolidate and will give us in a certain sequence in the future their best results. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much, President.
Thank you, Secretary General. Thank you, Serban, for your report and the efforts you've made over the years with our work programs. I certainly want to echo the praise you've sustained on the efforts of the Architecture for Children program and the Architecture for All program. Both of them have very interesting products that they've produced for this period, and all of those are available on the website, not only in the work area, but in the main website, and especially on access to all, especially those who suffer from certain kinds of disabilities in natural and human-made disasters. Very interesting report that they produced this year. So thank you, Secretary General. I'm glad you were able to join us, and please stay with us as long as your computer will allow it. It's now time. Yeah, it's now time to turn to the third of our 4 permanent commissions, and that is the International Competitions Commission, which is co-directed by Regina Gontier from Switzerland and José from Poland. So over to you, please.
Thank you, President. I will present a report on behalf of my colleague, co-director José, and I'm joining the assembly from Thessaloniki, Greece, where I'm actually these days as observer for a big competition that is being conducted here. May I share the screen, please, for the presentation? Yes.
Oui, elle peut en tant que panéliste.
I'm trying to share the screen. Okay. Oui, mais dans la phase de voir les messages. I'm sorry, it's not easy. Posso tocar no piano? No. Sonia, can you please
Allez, ça y est,
perhaps,
c'est parti.
apparently, just a second, perhaps now, we are trying.
Regina, first the green button, and then you have to select your desktop.
I have selected it, but something doesn't work. Well, I have sent it to Sonia. May I ask you, perhaps Sonia, to help with it? Can you, is that okay, Sonia?
C'est parti.
Okay, thank you very much. Dear delegates, the work of ICC is many-sided. Our regular work is continuous consultancy on competitions and awards with exterior clients as well as UIA bodies. But we also consult member sections who ask us to help them with their national regulations. And of course, regulatory work, that means help tools that we develop or actualize each time according to the needs. For instance, during this triennium, we elaborated recommendations how to conduct a video conference, a jury meeting about the evaluation. The second chapter is promotion not only of UIA competitions, but also of UIA culture. The third one is professionalization, where we do all kinds of efforts. And of course, special projects. I'm sorry, somebody's going very fast. Okay, perhaps I can go back myself. Could you go here? Thank you. You will see in the next, please. In the records of the next, please. In the records of the, can I do that? No, something doesn't work. Okay, thank you. Now it's okay. So we have endorsed 12 competitions, also student competitions. You can see the detail in our report. We also helped with 5 awards, and in particular, an interesting award, a new award for contextual architecture organized by the Turkish section. The income from contractually agreed from competitions and awards is 366,000 euros. Next, please. I cannot monitor it myself. Something is not working. The next, please. The next, please. The tendencies that we saw with the competitions in this triennium, there were diversified and interesting tasks. We had an equal number of open and restricted procedures, a majority of single stage. Nearly all were multidisciplinary. It is an evident increase of sustainable development sensibility and sustainable development requirements. The briefs are increasingly detailed and ask lots of work from the competitors, and we must try to keep that in measure because it can kill the competition. And the majority of competitions was conducted actually in European countries. The next, please. The next, please. I cannot monitor it. Please, the next one. So we started making statistics, and this is very important because we need statistics. Each organizer asks us which countries, from which countries come the competitors, which countries can we reach, and they want to know the percentage of applicants and selected, or the percentage of registered and architects that at the end submit. So this is a very important chapter to continue developing. The next, please. The next, please. The ICC performance, we proved the compatibility of UIA UNESCO regulations with public procurement law. We implemented high standards, introduced assessment stamp, fulfilled expectations of the clients who apparently were very thankful for the help, affirmed the good reputation of UIA competitions, established contact with the CIO and collaborated for the first time with the UN Habitat in the student competition, and proposed a commemorative plate on realized projects which are results of UIA competitions. We see a political importance to exploit the new European Bauhaus initiative in order to promote architectural quality, and the best tool for it, design competitions. To thematize the importance of quality of the built environment, and to create eventually a new UIA triennial prize for holistic approach, combining Baukultur and SDG. The next, please. The profile, the next, please. The next, please. Yes, thank you. Consultancy is a matter of experts. Our clients, and it is a clear tendency, are very often very exigent and very competent with legal advisors. Competitions are embedded in public procurement. Many are international institutions and are repetitive clients. And of course, we have also always to help member sections with less experience. So the clients expect from us continuous advice and expertise and competence and availability at all times. The next, please. The next, please. We have a few recommendations to ensure expertise and collaboration of experts and consultancy, to document the history of UIA competitions, and this in particular in regard to the coming 75th anniversary of UIA. We have recommendations for political goals to promote competition culture worldwide, and keep very exemplary the UIA competitions as world reference. And we see for the future of UIA competitions that it is interesting to seek more collaboration with international institutions like the CIO, UNO, and the World Bank. Perhaps the World Bank could, that they promote many projects all over the world, and it would be interested to discuss with them the possibility of requiring a competition as a requirement for financial support. Dear delegates, competitions are the best tool that we have to promote quality for the built environment. Competitions are sensitive, and it is very important to have fair conditions. Otherwise, they cannot obtain the goal. And it is our responsibility as UIA to guarantee fair conditions for the competitors and to keep the UIA label on UIA endorsed competitions as a mark of quality. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Regina, and thank you to you and your commission for the very hard work that you have accomplished during this period and for the successful competitions that you've held. It's been a wonderful pillar of the UIA for many years, and you are a big part of keeping that alive. So thank you. Thank you very much for your efforts. We're a little bit behind schedule, and we've saved the last commission for the last presentation. So it's my pleasure now to recognize the Commission on Sustainable Development Goals and its two directors, Nathalie Mossan, who is in Denmark, and Ishtiaq Zahir-Taitis, who is in Bangladesh. Nathalie and Ish, over to you, and welcome.
Thank you, Thomas. I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Let me share the screen. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to all the presidents of UIA member section. It's a pleasure that I'm architect Ishtiaq Zohair from Bangladesh, and along with me, our co-director, Natalie Mohsin from Copenhagen, joined together. It's an August occasion for us, for this commission. This is the first General Assembly we are attending. This is a new commission. And let me first tell what we've been doing. We showed you this in Baku, that we are a different commission, that we try to engage our architect practice with United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, and we like to create awareness, knowledge, and facilitate communication across the network of our members. And also we have to be responsive to the agenda of Sustainable Development Goal. And you can see our outcome are through projects, reports, and events. And we have a fantastic team of people. We have 10 steering committee members, 19 other members, and engaging 24 countries. This is a very good teamwork we have. I would like to thank all our three member sections, that is Nordic countries, Copenhagen, Dhaka, Institute of Architects Bangladesh, and Cairo Institute of Architects Egypt, to host 3 physical meetings. Altogether, all these days, we had almost 25 Zoom meetings. Other than this, we had religiously followed every month a Zoom meeting. That's why we could try to accomplish a lot. Our first event, I will go by the event activity, then we'll have our projects, and then we'll have the lectures and seminar, and Natalie will add later. World Urban Forum, that was the first in 2018. We organized 3 events, and one was a networking event, and the other one with, this was along with Pam, and I thank Pam for joining UIA. And also we had a professionals roundtable altogether. And we had a fantastic exhibition. It's a big pavilion in the first time UIA is being showcased in Asian Global Forum. And then we attended this COP24 and Arcacia. And in COP24 in Katowice, Poland, Jerzy was with us. And we had several events, and we launched this book that was a soft launching of Architectural Guide Volume 1, as you can see in the picture. And this is another big event, the workshop and seminar in Dhaka. We arranged from SDG Commission, all the directors and team was in Dhaka, Architecture for Displaced. And another one is engaging architects in UN SDG. And our President Thomas was there. And on this occasion, Arcacia members were there. Arcacia members together, IAB, we signed a Dhaka Declaration on SDG. That document is already in our website. We also engage ourselves into UN Habitat General Assembly. Our members led by Munaina and Mona and African team joined there. Also, our team led by Natalie joined COP25 in Madrid. This is a big event. We try to reach out government and the key personnel that can facilitate and engage our activities into the global arena. On the left, you can see the foreign minister at that time in Denmark with Natalie opening our book, inauguration ceremony. And on the right, the first book we are presenting along with Mona to Maimuna Sharif, the executive director of UN Habitat. And on this World Urban Forum 10, Mona became a Habitat Forum chair, and she's an SDG Commission member. On this World Urban Forum 10, we had two big events. One was with our 5 region speakers. They talked about preservation of cultural heritage and innovation. And the part 1 was a networking event with other stakeholders. So it is very important that we do not only engage ourselves, we also engage with other stakeholders. Otherwise, achieving SDG is a very difficult task. So we took on board IFLA, ISOCARP, the president of IFLA, president of ISOCARP, CSU, Council of Design, UN Youth Group, and City of Copenhagen joined us in our composition. This is another milestone. I'm talking about now projects and deliverables. This was 2 accomplished volume 1 and volume 2. As you can see, these are the publications. We tried to collect and realize cases from across the globe in real contribution to the 17 SDG goal. The book is a partnership between UIA SDG Commission, UIA 2030, and Royal Danish Academy. Natalie, Annette, and Sophie Stilling and the team, they worked hard, they researched and wrote and edited the book. The book has been translated in many languages all across the globe: Japan, Brazil, Chinese, French. And at the moment, today is a very happy day. The Portuguese edition is launched today, as you can see in the screen. This is in the is a live video you can see in the in our Congress website. Then we had this another project led by Peter. We conducted a survey to understand the knowledge of UIA member section and their members about SDG goal. This is a very new thing in the world, and we have to understand and we have to accomplish by 2030. And the finding of survey revealed a strong appetite for further guidance and support together with the development of SDG. And from that, we came up with 2 outputs. That is, one is UIA award, SDG award, and another one is the CPD course. So this is our, we worked hard since for last 6-7 months, and along with the ICC Commission and UN Habitat. And this commission is UIA 2030 Awards, we named it. And this was passed in 142nd Council meeting to go ahead. And this is the outcome and result is we got 6 categories in 2 stages. And the award is being planned with UN Habitat announced in today's General Assembly. After internal procedure review, it will be launched in September 2021. So the UIA in partnership UN Habitat will announce the recipient of 2030 award at the World Urban Forum WUF 11 in Katowice, Poland between in June 2022. So we ask our all member section, please do participate because this will have from regional round and then we'll have an international. So we would like to make UIA relevant to the member section, to the region. This is very, very important. And then we had this UIA CPD guideline. That is, we convened a joint workshop with UIA Education and Professional Practice Commission. I thank the members and the directors of UIA Education Commission and Professional Practice. The CPD guideline is in our website. You can find it. This is SDG Campus. Beside this, that we tried to initiate to measure impact of SDG into our built environment. This is a very tough job. We could not finish it, but the work is in progress. I'm sure this will be done in our next tenure. Then there was another project with UIA and IFLA. This is an indigenous ecosystem corridor and nodes. This is already in presentation in Congress, and there's a small frame in the website in UIA and also in the Congress. The last leg is that we had a lot of seminar in Nepal. We had in, yeah.
You have 1 minute left.
Yes. So I will go quickly. This is our COVID-19 UTC, and then we have this World Architecture Day seminar. And then this is design influence and design declaration. And this is AIA International Region Conference. And we presented together a big team. And the last event is, the upcoming event is that we are having this 26 COP26, and we teamed up with another organization, International Network for Bamboo and Rattan, and UIA. This has been approved, and we are going to Glasgow in November. Now I ask Natalie to speak a few words. Thank you.
A very few words.
Very few. Just to thank all. It's we all know that the climate crisis and the humane crisis around the world is urgent, but it's been very heartening to work with all the dedicated members of the Commission, all the member sections, all the volunteers, and with all the other Commission work groups and the headquarters in showing that architecture truly can contribute to new sustainable practice. It's possible, and we believe that the architects have a valuable contribution. Thank you so much, all of you, from me and each, for all the support in trying to get this message out together with you.
Thank you both so much. And for the member sections and those who are with us today, you are looking at two vice presidents who will serve in the next administration, Ishtiaq for Region 4 and Natalie for Region 1. So congratulations to both of you and welcome to your new positions of responsibility. I think it's a testament to the value of what you have done to note that the guidebook that has been published has been translated into Japanese, into French, and into Portuguese. And examples have been added from all over the world representing work from every climatic situation you can imagine, many different ethnic and cultural settings. It's a wonderful body of work, and I think has contributed greatly to the mission that you've accomplished. So thank you so much for your report and for your efforts. Now, we're running a bit behind still. We have two important resolutions to get to and the presentation for those resolutions. But before we do that, I'm going to recognize Estelia Atanasova, our council member from Bulgaria in Region 2, who has taken the mission to chair for this period what we are calling the Committee on Women in Architecture. And that committee has representatives from each of our 5 regions. All of them are members of the UIA Council. And so, Esteliana, I am very pleased to recognize you for a brief report on the efforts of your committee.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to say only that our committee has been created just less than 1 year ago, about 10 months ago. So we were working not so long as the other commissions, but we did considerable work. And except a lot of meetings, except promoting the talent and the contribution of women architects, we also made a webinar which was organized together with the UN Habitat Professionals Forum with co-organizers from the United Nations Habitat and with 12 member sections co-organizers of our webinar. It was really a good success to involve our member sections in the webinar of the committee. So I will not say more details about the report because it is on the webpage of UIA. I will just say that for this short period of time, we created a very huge team from our corresponding members. And already our committee has more corresponding members from more than 35 member sections. And here is the moment that when I should to thank deeply all member sections of UIA for their great support and for being with us in this difficult moment, because our committee started and has worked in the condition, in the situation of COVID-19, and it was really hard for us. To finalize my speech, I would like just to say that the members of the committee addressed a declaration to the member sections and to the UIA General Assembly. So you can find this declaration on our webpage, the UIA webpage, together with the report of the committee. And in this declaration, our members request the General Assembly to continue their work and extend the mandate of the committee during the next period, 2021-2023, to further develop our actual work and enrich our aims with other activities such as crisis response, people in need, sustainability, and young architects. This declaration was signed by the representatives of the following countries. I will say very quickly: Andorra, Australia, Belgium, Benin, Bolivia, Brazil, Bulgaria, Canada, China, Costa Rica, Czech Republic, Egypt, Georgia, Greece, Italy, Kenya, Lebanon, Malaysia, Malta, Mexico, Nigeria, Nordic countries, Philippines, Peru, Republic of Korea, Slovenia, Spain, Turkey, Uganda, Ukraine. Please, you see, dear delegates, you see how many women architects are involved in this committee, and they address their request to you. Please support the new committee, International Women in Architecture, and confirm our mandate for the period 2021-2023.
Thank you so much, Esteliana, and thank you to the women who have joined you in this effort. I think it's a wonderful start, and I am sure that your plea will be heard and gratefully received by those who come. Thank you, Esteliana. Now, we have before the General Assembly 2 formal motions that have been introduced. One sponsored by Region 1 of the UIA, that is essentially Western Europe. It speaks for itself. It is in part of the materials that you have received in preparation. And a motion from CIALP, the Organization of Portuguese-Speaking Countries and Architects in those countries. We're going to have a presentation on each of those motions from the principal sponsors. We begin with the Vice President of Region 1, and I turn the floor over to him.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, President, and congratulations to the new President-elect. May I share the screen? I will try. Okay, here we go. Just very briefly, what is it all about? Or de quoi s'agit-il? Would have asked Le Corbusier. For many years, voices have been raised within the UIA that the structure of the Union should be reconsidered in order to adapt them to the changed condition after half a century, meanwhile more than 70 years. Region 1 has now taken up the issue and discussed it in a bit more depth in terms of content during this legislative term. In doing so, it was, and is, in no way a question of fundamentally reinventing the UIA, but rather of adapting it to today's needs and possibilities in such a way that the Union can work democratically, transparently, but also efficiently. And efficient here means, in particular, that not only workflows should be faster and responsibilities clearer, but also that the process of analyzing the need for action on an issue through the decision regarding the strategy to be followed to its implementation should be more structured. But it is also shortening and simplifying decision-making processes. One possible solution for this is a flatter and more direct hierarchy. But this is not even up for discussion at the moment, because the motion is in front of you now, does not represent a project of change. It is merely and exclusively a motion for a mandate or a mission. It is mandate or mission to the next council to get the process or project started, but it's also the mandate or the mission to the next council to finalize the process or the project 2023. I think the UIA deserves to be positioned by its 75th anniversary so that it can tackle the important, indeed crucial period up to 2050 freshly armed. The UIA Region 1 has made preliminary steps in terms of content. Now, if the motion is accepted, it is a matter of seeing where and whether qualified majorities can be found within the whole Union for an overall concept, but also for the solution of individual delicate points. Majority capable pillars represents the basis for a joint unifying project. The following sections supported the motion submitted to you, which I would like to present again briefly hereafter. Andorra, Belgium, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Luxembourg, Malta, Nordic section, Portugal, Spain, Switzerland, and United Kingdom. That means the entire Region 1 without exception. But not only Region 1 supports the motion, but also Region 2 has formally expressed its support. But it has also been presented and discussed in Region 3, 4, and 5. So here again, briefly the motion. Within the founding principles of UIA, and in order to involve all member sections in the life of the organization, to guarantee equity between all, to ensure bottom-up ethical operation, increase efficiency, value, and visibility around the world, and to respond to the challenges facing the profession, as well as the world's expectations of UIA as a global representative of the profession. UIA General Assembly mandates the new 2021-23 Council to review governance and operation of the organization, to involve all member sections in the review using a participative and collaborative approach, to give quarterly progress reports to all member sections, to develop proposals for renewal and strengthening organization with defined timelines and anticipated outcomes, to submit the finalized proposals to an extraordinary General Assembly no later than end 2022. And in the event that the proposals are accepted, to draft revised articles and bylaws to be put to a vote during a General Assembly no later than the Copenhagen General Assembly 2023, the 75th anniversary of the UIA. That's it. Don't forget to vote in favor of the motion of Region 1. Thank you. Back to Thomas. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you for this very clear and complete presentation. We are going to have two formal motions. What I would like to ask for is the indulgence of the General Assembly to have the presentation on the second motion, and then as time permits, we can entertain questions and comments from our members. I have one question already, and I'm sure there will be others. So if I may now, I'd like to recognize the sponsor of the resolution pertaining to the Portuguese language. I'll remind the General Assembly that we have proudly added Mandarin and Arabic to the official languages of the Union, and here is a proposal to add another. Thank you.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Thomas, and good morning to all of you here And good afternoon and good evening to all of you here at the General Assembly. And I would like to share my screen with you. So our motion is this motion is presented to UIA by CILP, the International Council of Portuguese Speaking Architects, which is an organization that includes all of the country sections of Portuguese speaking with Portuguese speaking language. I would like to make a little bit of going back to this effort that we have been trying to with the UIA, and it has to do with the adoption of the Portuguese language as an official language for the UIA. This a language that is spoken by over 290 million people in 4 continents. And the reason that this makes a lot of sense for us and for the UIA is because there are so many different people that and the UIA cannot penetrate more into their context and their life because of the language barrier. So we, all the members of CILP first gathered in Tokyo in 2011, made this call to the General Assembly, and in the meantime, it has not been possible to be for this to be formally accepted, and so we have along the years in Durban and in Lausanne with the Bureau and in several different other occasions brought this to the table, and we think that it here in Rio with the Congress 27th Congress happening in Brazil, it is a kind of a very significant opportunity for this to be finally materialized after 10 years. So the Portuguese language is shared by a universe of currently over 250,000 architects worldwide, and this corresponds to roughly 16% of the population of architects, from my estimation, which is quite significant. And a lot of them, a majority does not dominate English nor French. So apart from this, there are, for example, only in Brazil, over 900 registered schools of architecture and urbanism, and if the Portuguese language can be adopted in the documentation of UIA, we think that the working educational programs and a lot of other programs will have a far deeper reach into this huge spectrum of architects and architectural schools. And we want that to happen, for these connections to happen. In the meantime, since 2014, because we believe that this is the way to go, the CIALP, together with CAUBR, have translated several charters in the UIA, and they are some of them are available on the UIA website, like the Consulting Services, UNESCO UIA Charter for Architecture Education, UIA Accord on Recommended International Professionalism in Architecture and Practices, And more recently, the CIALP and CAU have translated the SDG guidebook, second volume of the ICC UIA committee to Portuguese. And this is being integrated into the publishing. So we call all of you to be on our side in this big important step for us, and we hope we can count with your votes, and we can start to work more systematically with the UIA, and we are ready to do it. CIALP, IAB, Instituto de Arquitetos do Brasil, and CAU-BR, the Conselho de Arquitetura e do Urbanismo do Brasil, we have formally, among the three of us, committed to operate and take care of all the translation and documentation in articulation with the UIA. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rui, for this clear presentation and a very worthwhile motion. Congratulations to CIALP, and thank you to CIALP for the work you've done to support translation of important UIA documents. That's been of great help to us and great benefit, I think, to the architectural community. We have about 30 minutes before the end of this session. We need about 10 minutes at the end of the session to review the next voting platform and to make sure that all of our member sections understand what is next in the voting. So what I would like to propose is that during the next 20 minutes, we take 10 minutes for each of the resolutions. The first one from Region 1 on activities of the Council for next year, and entertain questions and comments. The way to do this is to send a message through the chat mechanism on Zoom, asking to be recognized. We will try to have our operators sort through that, and we will try to recognize as many people as wish to speak as we possibly can. I hope that's clear. I hope you all understand how to use the chat mechanism. I will ask the following of people who seek to be recognized. If you are given the microphone, please identify yourself, identify the member section you are representing, and state whether you are speaking for or against the motion or the resolution, and make your remarks very brief. Please do not repeat remarks that have been made by other people before you, but make your own remarks and add to the discussion. Hope that's clear. I'm watching, and all of us here in the Secretariat in Paris are watching the chat line to see who wishes to be recognized. I would like to direct one question to Lawrence about his presentation. If I understood correctly, there is a point at which a report is made to an extraordinary General Assembly in 2022. I wonder, I guess the question in my mind is whether that is an essential part of the resolution, whether that has to happen before anything can go before the General Assembly that will occur in any case in Copenhagen. I'd just like you to comment on that, Lawrence, if you possibly could. Good. I think you can speak now, Lawrence. Thank you. If you'll unmute.
I think it's fine. Okay, you can hear me. May I do it in French or no? Well, I think the main question is, or your question is, if there is a necessity for an intermediate step from the concept to the next step, meaning articles and bylaws. I would say it's necessary to avoid to go too far without having the consensus of the whole assembly. And it makes certainly sense to make this interruption in between. If it is an assembly or it's another form of agreement or consensus between the different parties, I would say it doesn't really matter. Important is that we have two parts of in this whole process.
Okay, thank you. It would appear we have not received any requests to speak on this matter or comments, so we're going to close this and move to the second resolution having to do with Portuguese language. We do have one comment, which I will simply read. I don't think I need to recognize the submitter. And this comment has to do with the fact that the documents submitted for most of our programs and events are still in English and in French only, and we are not fully interpreting in Mandarin and in Arabic. The official working languages of the Union are English and French. There have been limitations in Brazil on what could be afforded and finally arranged with respect to simultaneous interpretation. We have made every effort in this meeting and in a number of other meetings, including the town hall that was held among presidential candidates, to ensure that we had interpretation in all languages. I ask the General Assembly to recall that when the languages Arabic and Mandarin were introduced as official languages of the Union, it was with the understanding that the expense of interpretation and translation would be borne by the countries requesting same. That was a condition of admission of the languages because the resources of the Union for interpretation and translation are limited, and the cost of those things is quite significant. And that is my understanding, and Rui, you could confirm this perhaps, that the motion submitted by CIALB respects those same conditions and involves volunteer effort on the part of Portuguese-speaking member sections to undertake the necessary work. Rui, maybe you'd like to add or comment. If not, we can move ahead. I think that was clearly understood. I'm watching to see if he's joining us. Yes, he is. Please go ahead, Rui, if you have something.
Yes, from the information we got, it's correct. From the information we got from the UIA Bureau, from Paula and Sonia, is that the official state language status just to comprises the translation of the documentations, the charters, and the updating of those documents, and the minutes and agenda of the General Assembly, and documentation that is required for the General Assembly. That's the information we received.
Very good. Well, thank you, and that's correct. Thank you so much. We do, in response to the point discussed with the Region 1 motion, we have confirmation from the alternate member of council from Spain that for the midterm forum that is planned for 2022 in Madrid, they plan to host an extraordinary General Assembly if that's necessary and desired. So we should be prepared for that. Well, very good. I thank the makers of the motion and those who have contributed to them. I think we'll bring this session to a close with a review of Voting Platform 3. Voting Platform 3 for all registered delegates who are voting opens tomorrow, that is 23 July at 1400 hours, 2:00 p.m. Paris time. It will remain open until 12:00 Saturday, 24 July, 12 noon Paris time. And that is going to provide an opportunity to vote on the following offices: Secretary General, the 5 vice presidents, and the first round of amended resolutions having to do with the financial reports and the proposed budget. So those are the matters to be voted upon. I remind the member sections that every member section votes on every candidate for office. You don't vote only for the vice president in your region, you vote for all 5 vice presidential offices, as well as the Secretary General. and treasurer. Those are weighty matters before the member sections for vote in the platform 3 that opens tomorrow at 1400 hours. So please review the questions carefully, review the candidacies carefully, and please do cast your ballot within plenty of time. We will see one another again then next time on Monday, 26 July. We are starting again at 1300 hours Paris time. That's 1:00 p.m. in Paris. And I look forward to your company in this digital form on that date. Until then, I want to extend thanks to the candidates who ran for president. My congratulations to José Luis, and my gratitude to all the commission co-directors for their very informative and excellent reports today. And finally, to the Secretariat staff here in Paris, to our interpreters, and to all of those who've contributed to making this, if not the warmest and most congenial type of meeting you could possibly have, at least a meeting that has allowed us to accomplish our business, and I think to have done so in a very efficient and good way. So thank you all. We'll see you after what I hope will be a good weekend for all of us, and see you Monday.
See you. Thank you.